Hey, Rena. You say you believe the real mother should sue the police department and child protective services. I don't got no love for lady over here. I respectfully disagree. Um, she's one of the people that fell in desire because had she had stepped up and handled her responsibility and got the help she needed to deal with her issues, Nazaya probably would have still been here. I believe Kenyatta and Janelle. And if you look back on my Black Girl Law series, I started my series with them. They are the family members that really care. They are the ones that were reporting to CPS, and CPS was non-responsive in Detroit PD. I believe they should sue. I really do. Because I don't have any sympathy for Lady over here. But several people felt Nazaya, not only Detroit PD and CPS, also the adults that were surrounding her. Okay, so let's get into DPD called themselves taking accountability. I say a day late and a dollar short. It's about goddamn time. Let's get into it. Please hashtag justice for desire in the chat. And shout out to Detroit Channel 7. Everything we discuss here falls under fair use commentary. All right.
Did Detroit police miss a chance to save the life of Nazaya Harris?
Yep.
Records uncovered by the 7 investigators tonight show that they did.
Nearly 2 years before Nazaya went missing, police received a warning involving the man now accused in her murder.
And tonight, DPD says they messed up. 7 investigator Ross Jones reveals what went wrong and what's changed as a result.
Mr. Butts targeted and befriended women who had to have sexual relationships with their young.
Let me remind you, those of you who caught my live last night, this chick right here on my screen is named in Derek Lee Cardella Smith's new lawsuit against Diddy. Okay, all right, this crooked ass bitch. Yo, something ain't clean in the water, and I think it's all gonna come out how dirty Detroit PD is.
Daughters. He was a classic and expert groomer and pedophile.
On the same day, Jarvis Butts would be accused of killing and sexually abusing 13-year-old Nazaya Harris, police and prosecutors urged the community to protect its children at all costs.
But when it comes to our children, we must be deliberative, we must be diligent, and laser focused on their safety.
We make strong and good decisions for our children, keep them out of harm's way.
But more than 20 months before Harris ever went missing, Detroit police had been warned that she'd been victimized by Jarvis Butts and failed to ever investigate.
There was enough for the department to ask about Nazaya.
Yeah, we could have done better.
Y'all heard it. Now, Kiwana and Janelle have been trying to report this from the very beginning. Once they found out Jarvis was a convicted pedo, like Shannon and Marquita, how could you think it's okay to not only sleep with a man and indulge with a man like this? And I'll use that man word loosely, a predator. Indulge with a predator like this. And then, Shannon, you go on and reproduce 5 children with this predator. Make that make sense to me.
No question.
Last month, we showed you that Jarvis Butts had been the subject of multiple complaints to Children's Protective Services, including at least one that named Nazaya Harris as a victim. What we did not know at the time is that CPS wasn't the only agency who'd been warned. In April of 2022, in response to a complaint CPS had received, workers there submitted a law enforcement notification, or LEN, to Detroit police. It's an alert to possible criminal behavior that may warrant a police investigation. In this case, the complaint told DPD that there was an incident at a birthday party where a child accused Butts of sexual abuse.
Okay? And Janelle and Kiwana reported it. Because Shannon wouldn't call the police. She was the first one that got wind of it. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Daya, and name withheld, reported that Jarvis touched them inappropriately as well. It read, Jarvis is a sex offender and a felon. Nazia's great aunt, Jernell, says she filed that complaint with CPS that ultimately made its way to DPD.
They're the police. They're supposed to investigate. I mean, it had all the everything is there.
But the department never did investigate, at least with respect to Nazia. Instead, according to officials, only the other alleged victim named in the report was questioned because CPS only listed her under the victim header, even though Nazia was identified as an abuse victim too.
Does that make any sense to you?
No, makes 0 sense. Either they didn't read it or they didn't comprehend it. That's my opinion.
Tom Berry is a retired Detroit police lieutenant who reviewed the report that bears Nazia's name.
How many victims do you see identified there?
I see 2 for sure, maybe 3. Somebody dropped the ball. It's pretty clear by reading that there's at least 2 allegations of sexual assault there.
Her name was right in the report. At a minimum, the department should reach out to her and at least ask if something happened. But that didn't happen.
It did not.
Today, Assistant Chief Charles Fitzgerald makes no excuses, saying much has changed with how the department handles the more than 5,000 LEN reports.
So Nazia's case is going to change the laws in Detroit. That's great and all, but you still failed this child. And I can only imagine how many other cases they have dropped the ball. They are negligent. There is a lawsuit here that they are admitting that they did not do their job, Naughty Crew. Please thumbs up this video.
It receives every year. Unlike when the Nazia complaint came through, he says DPD now interviews everyone identified inside, regardless of whether they're listed under the victim header. Complaints are triaged and are assigned quickly, and missing information, like in this case, Nazia's last name, is ferreted out by investigators.
But, you know, the other thing I want to bring out, because Janelle and Kiwana also said this, when they were reported, they would go and ask the children in the household, and the children were conditioned to lie. Their interviews need to be a lot more in depth. Like, a child is easily influenced. I feel like it should have been more follow-up. They shouldn't have just took those kids' word at face value, knowing that adults intimidate children on a regular basis. I just really feel like CPS interview was very scratched the surface, but didn't deep dive into the situation. And if they would have looked further, they would have seen signs of abuse. But they failed these children, all the children that are in the household.
It's a horrible excuse. We still should have done what we should have done.
The fact that they acknowledge it shouldn't have worked this way, and it took for something so tragic to happen to her, you're damn right it shouldn't have worked that way. They should have did their job.
Kiwana Morton is one of Nazia's relatives who says she filed complaints with CPS too. She wonders tonight if the 13-year-old's fate might have been different had police ever bothered to reach out.
Somebody has to answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely do. CPS and DPD.
I think the obvious question that a case like this begs is how many other victims or alleged victims in reports like this were named but never contacted by DPD.
Yeah, prior to the recent process, I don't know. I would hate to speculate even.
Do you worry that there are other cases like
Of course, yeah, for sure.
I don't think it stopped in one child sliding through the crack. They clearly weren't doing their jobs.
We don't know, of course, what Nazia might have said to police if she'd been interviewed. The other alleged victim who was questioned made no disclosures of abuse. Jarvis Butts denied he touched anyone when questioned by police, and he has maintained his innocence since being charged. But by not asking the question, you know she couldn't possibly have said something was going on, and that's what haunts the family and will haunt the family, I think, for a very long time.
Well, of course, trust.
As you can see, they failed her. They failed her, and I can only imagine how many other children were failed in this situation. Is something not clean in the water? We found out yesterday some proof that judges and prosecutors have been paid off through Diddy. They were on Diddy's payroll. So I can only imagine how many other things they looked the other way on. it's about to go down in Detroit. Okay. It's time for a revamping, if you ask me. But you know, a lot of people are saying that, you know, it's because she's a black girl, and you know, black girls or black children, I should say, never get the attention they need when it comes to cases in this type of manner. I mean, come on. They're still making documentaries and series on John Benet Ramsey. What about Natalie Holloway? They're still talking about that. That young girl that just went missing, I believe, in DR. National syndication. It took Naziah case a year to go national. But I don't just put it on her being a black girl, because her own people felt her too. Because let's get into the officer, the investigator that testified in a preliminary trial. You know, the one that retired and just didn't give a okay, yeah, that one. She fell by her own people. And like, until we as a people start to value our community, why are we going to expect anybody else to value
Derek
us?
Wolf.
And what do you do for a living currently?
I work at 36 District Court as a court officer.
And how long have you worked at 36 District Court?
2 months.
And prior to that, where did you work at?
Detroit Public School Police Department.
And how long did you in total work for the Detroit Public Schools?
17 and a half years.
You worked for DPS for 17 and a half years?
Yes.
And how long have you been in law enforcement in total?
39 years.
Before DPS, who did you work for?
I retired from Detroit Police Department.
And what were some of your common roles and responsibilities at the Detroit Public Schools Police Department?
We go to school. Sometimes we talk to kids.
Hey, Miss Brenda, I see your question. No, they have not recovered her body yet. But they claim they have enough evidence to prove that she's no longer with us. It's sad.
We take care of the building, take care of the principal, we take care of the family, and make sure everybody's by law.
And in January of 2024, what was your assignment at the DPS Police Department?
I was assigned to investigations.
And as part of that assignment, does that include going out and taking reports from people who are making police reports to the school police department?
Yes.
Okay. I want to direct your attention to January 10th, 2024. Did you go to J.D. Clark School in Detroit?
Yes.
And what was the reason you went there, sir?
I got sent there by my lieutenant about a missing 13-year-old young lady from the school.
And when you went there, did you speak with someone who was making that report?
Yes.
Who was that person?
I talked to her guardian, her grandmother, which is her guardian.
Is that Annette Harris?
Yes.
And in terms of taking that report, what's that process like? I don't want to go into what anybody said to you, but what information are you looking for to gather to put into your report?
Okay, I'll make a missing report. So I asked Ms. Harris, when's the last time seen her daughter? Her granddaughter. Description of what she had on. Has she ever been missing before? Does she have a boyfriend? Or she have friends she might go by the house and stay? Things of that sort.
And did you ask Ms. Harris all of those questions and get her answers?
Yes.
And then did you write an actual report?
Yes.
Okay. After you write that report, do you have any role in actually investigating attempting to locate the missing person?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do after writing the report?
After the report, I canvassed the area looking for this young lady, although she was gone for at least 24 hours because she was missing the day before. And then from that point, they didn't find anything. So I found the bus number that she was on. I got the video, and it showed where she got off the bus at Cornwell and 3 Mile.
You said Cornwell and 3 Mile?
Cornwell, 3 Mile.
Okay.
And from that point, like I said, we went to the house, talked to the guardian again, talked to some of the people in the house, and then we went on in and they go from there.
Sorry, just to be clear, you keep on saying we. Are you doing these things with a partner?
Yes.
And who is that partner?
Dale Gardner.
Okay. Judge, may I approach?
Yes.
Approaching what's already been admitted as People's Exhibit 2. Do you recognize that, sir?
Yes.
And what is that is contained in Exhibit 2?
A school bus.
And is that a still shot from the video that you pulled or that you received?
Yes.
Oh. And that's the bus that you identified that Naziah Harris was on?
Yes.
Oh. May I have one moment, sir?
Yes.
I know, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Wolf, you were dispatched to the J. Clark School because you're an investigator for DPS.
I was not dispatched. The lieutenant came to the office and told us to go by the school for the missing.
Oh, so you were requested, your presence was requested at the school?
Yeah, from my lieutenant.
You don't have an office within the school?
No.
So you're not the school resource officer, per se?
No.
Okay. And you said you met with Ms. Annette Harris on the 10th,
Yes,
and that's January 2020.
January. Yes.
But that was early in the morning.
Around between 11 and 12.
So school was in session at that time.
Yes.
Did you speak with the teacher who was in Nazia's classroom on the 9th of January?
No.
Did you speak with any of Nazia's known friends?
In the investigation, yes.
You did. Who did you speak to?
I can recall that.
Did you write them in a report?
No, not in this report.
Okay, so you spoke with folks, but you didn't record their names,
I recorded it probably on my run sheet, but not inside the miss report.
and you didn't take statements from anybody
No, not a tenor.
ever?
No.
How you, as a former Detroit PD police officer, speak with witnesses and don't take an accurate record? He did not care. He did not care. How are we going to hold other people's feet to the fire when our own won't even take care or care enough about this young girl's life? He was lazy, lack thereof. He didn't give a fuck, and it's clear.
Did you speak with anybody else at the school about Nazia, either on the 10th or any time after that?
Only on the chance I talked to the guardian, which is the grandmother, and a couple of students. Yes.
Do you know how many?
A couple, two.
Two. Okay. Just want to make sure we're the same definition of a couple. And you said you canvassed the area?
Yes.
What area did you canvass?
The 3 Mile area, we all around there, checking alleys, knocking on doors, see if we can get some video doorbell camera footage, things like that.
3 Mile, is that 3 Mile Drive?
3 Mile in Cornwall, that area.
Okay, and that's where the bus stop was?
Yes.
Where Nazia would have gotten off the bus?
Yes.
Anywhere else around the school?
We checked around the schools. We checked on, matter of fact, on her street as well. We didn't find anything.
In her classroom, does she have a locker or a cubby or anything where she stores items?
I can answer that question.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Fair to say then that you didn't check.
I may have, but I can't call right now because
Is
it's
there
like a long time.
Is there a report that documents whether you did or not?
How do you not check her locker for clues? Hey, Juanita, how do you not check her locker for clues? This is some half-ass, and this is just a testament of how people handled Nazia. They just did not care. And they still don't care.
No.
Okay. And after you did the canvass of the area of 3 Mile Drive in Cornwall, what else did you do?
I went back to the station, advised the lieutenant of what we came up with.
Which is what?
Which was, I talked to the parent, the grandparent, talked to a couple of students. We didn't find anything from doing our search of the area.
So did you do anything else in regards to investigating?
No, I did not, because I was getting ready to retire, so I was done.
Okay? There, you heard it out of his mouth. He did not do any further investigation because he was getting ready to retire. I mean, you could at least did your due diligence to make sure the like you could have made sure you did a thorough investigation and canvass her friends, her locker, so that when you pass it on to the next officer, that they can pick up where you left off. He simply did not care. So not only did Detroit PD fail her, and we could say, oh, that's how Black girls are being treated, but our own people. Look at how our own people handled the situation. So how we going to hold DPD and the Clear people accountable when we don't even do our due diligence as a community to protect our own? It makes me furious. And I can only imagine if that was my child, I probably would have been in prison. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I probably would have been in prison because I would have snapped. All right, and on the tail end of that, to add insult to injury, and I try not to even indulge in this, but Kiwana and Janelle, who y'all saw on the news report that I played a little while ago, okay, the ones that have been trying to bring attention to this and get some type of intervention from law enforcement, they are beefing with Roxy, the cousin, who's trying to be the face of Nazia Harris. But in my opinion, all she's doing is exploiting Nazia to garner funds off of her name, which I think is disgusting because she didn't even know Nazia, okay? But she been out here lying. She been out here lying on Janelle and Kiwana. making accusations saying that the kids were taken from Shannon and them, and CPS offered for them to take the kids and they declined. She is the Jaguar right of this situation, Roxy. Okay? But because she is jealous, because Kiwana and Janelle are doing the right things, and she forced them to speak because they wasn't trying to talk about Roxy. They just didn't like how she moved. But Roxy, she keeps spinning this narrative or whatever. Well, Roxy, because they had this news report come out, and they're showing the documented proof that CPS was called 2 years prior to Nazia's disappearance, she's jealous because her credibility is shot and the money well is drying up. And she's doing everything to deflect and distract, which is causing harm and taking away for the justice for Nazia. Let's talk about it. She's a whole distraction. She is trash for this. She decided to go live because she's jealous. And she's even going as far as putting face posts up claiming that it's Shannon. First of all, this wasn't Shannon's handle. I believe Roxy created this to spin the narrative. Okay? So this is supposed to be from Shannon. She said, I need y'all irritating ass people to quit messaging me with threats and things saying my babies I posted are Nazia's babies and shit. I'm not worried about Nazia. We know you not, bitch. We know you not worried about Nazia. Because you fed her to that predator of a baby father that you're still champion for and taking care of. It's disgusting. She said, I'm not worried about Nazia. Those are my kids. Leave me alone. Yes, they are in CPS. Yes, I have to fight in court to get them back. Yes, everything. Just leave me the fuck alone. Do y'all believe that, Shannon? Because Kiwana and Janelle said the kids are still there. I believe this is Roxy trying to spin a false narrative. She even got with Marquita's baby father, the one that went off in the courtroom and took his kid. She had him on the panel. He didn't. It's disgusting how these people are operating and exploiting this poor child. Like, let her rest in peace. Y'all did not love her while she was here. It's clear. Y'all did not love her. Roxy, you did not even know her. And everything you doing is deflection and distraction.
Hello. I got a little gift I need to open up. With y'all. Let me see where I can put you at. Where can I put y'all at? Because, you know, it's St. Patty's Day, and I'm going to be Hood Irish today. I'm going to be Hood Irish today. I just came on here to talk to y'all real quick. Hey, came on here to talk to y'all real quick. Hold on. I need to think too much. Okay. Hey. Hey y'all. How is everyone?
This is
Roxy.
Roxy.
Like I told y'all. Period. You see it. You see it. You see it. One plan. So I just came on here to talk to y'all real quick. Hey Kiki, to tell everybody happy St. Patrick's Day. Hey, and you know, I'm gonna be trying my best, you know, to keep the focus on Nazia. But we have you know, a related mosquito bite, and you know, this one I can't call really a mosquito bite. She is, you know, but we're gonna call this, you know, Kiwana's Cock Block Chronicles. Okay, we're gonna call this Kiwana's Cock Block Chronicles. Okay, because she wanna be on that budget. Okay, she want to be on that boat. You see the shirt. You see that? Had your shit. I'm in it. Hide it. Hide your keys.
Only person on that BS is you, Roxy. Look, rather than team up with you, because this is a time where the family needs to come together to support one another and love each other through this grieving time. You saw an opportunity where you could garner financing off of Nazia's memory. So you created division in the family. And that's what I look at. This is not the time for division or beefing.
Hide your purse. She out here robbing us. She out here robbing us. Okay, she's out here. Anyway, she out here. I called this Kiwanis Cock Block Chronicles because she can't seem to keep the focus on Nazia. Okay, and she wants the attention. She wants the attention, the clout, the fame, the followers, and things like that. So we're gonna have these small little episodes where we have Kiwanis Cock Block Chronicles. Because anything that I tried to do to keep positive for Nazia, she doesn't want that. So here we are. So make sure that when you see her out and about, you hide your shit. Okay, you hide your keys, you hide your purse, because she's out here robbing us. Okay, okay, right? She's out here. She doesn't want to keep the focus on Nazia, and that's what the focus needs to be on. You know, her next little move. Let me tell y'all about her next move that she did, right? Or that she did or trying to do. So in Kiwanis Cock Block Chronicles, that's what she did. She's trying to contact my ex-husband, y'all, to get him to tell him a tell-all. Why are you contacting my ex-husband? Who does that? Who does that? How do you have time to sit around and make up lies, and you have time?
The same way you got time to make up lies. But let me tell you something about Roxy. Anytime she get up here, she never has any proof. She be just speaking off the dome. She was on a panel. They asked her about the funds and why she's selling t-shirts, why she had a balloon release and all the family wasn't there. And all she did was lie. All she did was lie.
To contact people's family members and people's ex-husbands. How do you have time? But she had no time to keep her focus on Nazia. Okay, so she's trying to cock block. She's trying to cock block anything that I do. Okay, that has to do with Nazia. Anything. So we're gonna tell her. We're gonna tell her because I got a new fan. I got a new fan. I got a new fan. I got a new fan from. I got a gift today. Got a gift today. I mean, anything that I'm trying to do, she just wants to block it from Nazia because I guess she doesn't want Nazia's fame in the limelight. Well, guess what? It's going to be justice for Nazia, baby. Okay, hold on. I'm not going to stop. You can try and cock block me all you want to. I'm not going to stop. It's justice for Nazia, baby. You see the bracelet. It's justice for Nazia, baby. All day. All day. That's what we're keeping this about, justice for Nazia. Okay? Because Kiwanis Cock Block Chronicles is trying to shut me up and stop me in any which way she can. She's digging and digging and digging and digging and digging to try and stop me from baby girl. But guess what? You should have stopped Jarvis. Okay? Take that screenshot. You should have stopped Jarvis, but you didn't. So you know what you can do?
She did try to stop Jarvis. They reported it to CPS. They have documented proof, unlike you. See the deflection? She's a distraction. She is the Jaguar right of this situation. Her intentions are not pure. She wants the clout and the fame. Talking about keep it on Nazia. Girl, bye.
Bye, bitch. Bye, bitch. Get out of here. You're gone. Get out of here. Mind your business. You should have fought for Nazia, but you didn't. Why you ain't fight for Nazia? Why you ain't fight for Nazia? Why you ain't fight for Nazia? Why you fighting me? Huh? Now you trying to contact my ex-husband? Guess what? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You're not going to stop me from what I am trying to do. Y'all didn't want to do it, so I'm here. You're trying to beat me down? Well, bitch, I'm back up. I'm back up. And I'm going to keep going up. Because you ain't going to stop me. I'm going to keep going. Because you ain't going to stop me. I'm going to keep going. Because you ain't going to stop me. Do you hear me?
But what did Roxy really do? I mean, she made t-shirts. She had a balloon release. What did she really do? Fake like she was searching for her? What did she really do? Did y'all see that when that young lady broke into Jarvis's so-called mechanic shop, Roxy popped up on the scene all of a sudden? It's just a whole bunch of bull swinky when it comes to her.
When you want to stop, you let me know. Because we can keep the Kiwanis Chronicles going. We can keep it going. So when she does bull crap, we're going to tune into Kiwanis Cock Block Chronicles, okay? Because this is her next little move because she's digging. She's digging. And I'm going to let her have it, baby, because I take accountability and I live in my truth and I don't care. You tried to come for me. You tried to come for my wife. It didn't work. Now you're trying to go lower. I don't care. He doesn't care about me. I don't care about him. And that is why we are divorced. So this is what you can do. Because anything that she does or says, what does it have to do with Nasiah? What does it have to do with Nasiah? So since you want the attention, here you go. Yes, they filed multiple reports. Yes, they did. And no one listened to them. Oh, I'm great, Nene. I'm great. I'm fantastic. I'm going to be Irish later on today. Yeah. Yeah, you know. So she wants that attention. So here we go. Here we go. So her shenanigans will be called Kiwanis Cock Block Chronicles because she's trying to cock block anything that I do that's concerning Nasiah. I am going to keep the focus on Nasiah, okay? Because somebody needs to, because obviously they didn't want to. They didn't want to. So anything that I do that has to be with Nasiah is you know, she's trying to cock block it. So this fan won't break, y'all. Come say something. You said no one is taking anything away from either one of them and what they did. But don't be upset at what I did. Because you
are taking away. You're trying to discredit all their efforts that they put forth to try to save the kids.
You did what you did. You were at a standstill. You didn't have issues with what I'm doing. That don't make sense to me. And now you're doing all of this extra.
Yeah, but what you're doing is not productive as well. It's not productive at all. You're just trying to make money off the situation. And you didn't even have a relationship with her.
Extraness, contacting my ex-husband and all this other stuff like that. I guess that wouldn't negate the fact that, I've been married someone when they were less than 18. Oh.
Did you hear her? I guess that will negate the fact that I was married to someone when they were less than 18. Let me run it back for you. Let me slow it down. Let me slow it down.
What I'm doing that don't make sense to me. And now you're doing all of this extraness, contacting my ex-husband and all this other stuff like that. I guess that would negate the fact that, I've been married someone when they were less than 18. Oh.
Now, is there still a question that this family is plagued with pedo activity? She said it out her own mouth. That she was married to someone that's less than 18. Disgusting.
Surprise.
This whole family
So,
is
when she does something, we will come on here and we will end up.
And this by her saying that, I believe she is trying to deflect and distract for these two big backs. 3, I should say. She is trying to deflect and distract. Remember, she ain't been the same since her and Mark D rolled up on Shannon and Marquita. It's given she's addicted to the clout. They do anything for clout. They do anything for clout.
Judge in Kiwanis Cock Block Chronicles of her trying to cock block anything that I do that involves Nasiah. Because I guess in her mind, I shouldn't be doing anything because I didn't know her and I didn't grow up with her and I wasn't around her. So in her mind, I shouldn't be even uttering Nasiah out of my mouth.
No. What you should be doing is standing with your family. That's what you should be doing instead of trying to fight with them.
It's what I got from her. Right? It's what I got from her. Both of them. Right? But you knew that this man was in the house and you didn't do anything. But you said, you were here, you were there, you were this, you were that. What could I do? I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything with my own eyes. I didn't even know who he was until he was on the TV screen.
And when they found out that he was a convicted pedo, they took action. Like, what do you want? And it's proof.
Okay. So, I'm going to continue to do what I do for Nasiah. Keep the focus on Nasiah. That's what it needs to be about. It doesn't need to be about me. It doesn't need to be about you. It needs to be about Nasiah. And if it's not about Nasiah, okay, can we do that? And while you're all doing that, make sure you hide your shit. Okay? And hide your keys. And hide your purse. because she's out here robbing. Let me know if you want a shirt. Let me know if you want the skelly. Let me know if you want that. It's all for sale. Now I'm gonna go be Irish. Y'all have y'all good old Irish.
She told you what her intentions. Let me know if you want a shirt. Maybe let me know if you want the hat. It's all for sale. I'm done with Roxy. And all that just takes away from what really happened to Neziah. At the end of the day, Roxy, you weren't around. Kiwana and Janelle were. Kiwana and Janelle are on national news, not you. Okay, you even tried to take credit for finding the clothes that did not even belong to Neziah, most of it. And people have valid questions saying, like, why didn't you testify in the preliminaries if you found the clothes? She's lying all over the place. Hey, Be More Shorty, I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Thank you so much for joining. She said, oh, nope, she's annoying. Yep, she's annoying, and she is the same like the Lanishas and the Jagliarites of the world. They pander to